is Kieran. I'm 20, turning 21, and I'm currently a student studying to be a music teacher, as well as I teach instruments privately, and I'm also a band manager for my own band. It has its moments. Um, the music teaching, when we get into the actual stuff and I'm with other musicians that want to be teachers, I love it. I fucking love it because they're passionate and I engage with them and I feel connected. But obviously, every course comes with its moments, and assignments is it's more the paperwork. Assignments are a bit of a bitch. Obviously, like music, gaming is a pretty good one. Gaming slash VR. I do a bit of gel balling, which is like you know, a bit more of a sport, I guess. I'm not really a sports guy, so that's the only sport I do. I love catching up with my siblings for coffee, games, whatever. It doesn't matter what sport. I know that's sort of not really a hobby, but I do it that often. You know, I'll catch up with my sister. We'll play COD and yell at each other, calling each other noob. Like, that's my hobby now because we do it so often. It's our thing. And with every one of my siblings, I'll have a connection, and it's different to each one. And, you know, I'm close with my sister as well as I am with the others. She's a noob, simple as that. She's better than me. 3, 2 brothers and a sister. They're all older than me. Well, growing up, you're a bit more, you know, you're a bit more lenient. Their parents are to you, but it's also lately, now that I'm a bit older, it's been annoying because I feel like, you know, some things will get held back because I'm the baby in the family, and so I feel like I don't get told things, you know, as everyone else would because I'm the baby, and it's sort of frustrating because I'd rather know just like everyone else. I Compared to other people, I like that it's small. The city. If I go out with my mate, it's small. I can navigate where I'm going. Funny thing is, the country kid can, but the city people can't that have been there most of their lives. Is it's also not small. It's not connected in a way. I can't just go point A to point B to see my mate and see other mates in one go. I can, but that's a pretty big chunk of the day. So the city going out for night is small. It's great, but going to go see a mate, yeah, different suburbs and stuff. But in terms of the actual Perth itself, nothing really. Maybe shops need to be open a little bit later. Very WA. I've never been. I have been over east, so didn't go to the shops. But classic WA. Let's start with school. We'll go chronological. During school, I was pretty depressed. Like, pretty putting it softly. I used to go to school every day, stare at the wall, waiting for that bell to ring, and then waiting for the next bell, and just continuously doing that. And when I finished work, I'd get to work. When I finished school, I'd get to work an hour early, asking to start early, not for the pay, just so I could get through the day. You know, I had a few good mates around then. I don't know why I felt that depressed. Obviously, most probably because puberty. That's the main thing. But yeah, I felt lonely as much as I had my family around me. I felt very lonely. I had one of my good mates there, and like, you know, it was there constantly, but I just felt so lonely and waiting for the days to go forward, but for no reason. You know, it's like you working for a goal, but really you don't want that goal. You know, you're waiting for nothing. Ironically, so school wasn't for me in terms of a student. I left around, I think it was middle of year 11, to go, ironically, study to eventually, in the end goal, be a teacher, to go back to school. Now, that's not to say I would definitely not recommend anyone else drop out of school. I would only say, yes, if you want to, do it, but as long as you had what I had, which was a plan. I planned that out. You know, I wouldn't say drop out of school and do nothing, because you still want goals in your life. If you don't have any goals, then you do become depressed. Which goes on to my this is the side that not many people know or realised. So 2018, around the second semester during a school uni break, I had nothing on. I was literally doing nothing all day, every day. And there's one moment I watched a horror movie. I love my horror. Those who know me, I love it. And there's one moment that happened to me. I went to bed and I received a thought. It was a very uncomfortable thought. It was I was doing something bad to someone else, and I didn't want to, because it wasn't like I was angry. It wasn't my thought, is the thing. I was doing it to someone who I loved, and I got confused because, well, this isn't my thought. It's not a normal person's thought to want it to do something to someone else that you love. You love them, and I freaked out. So I didn't tell anyone, as you would, because you're like, oh shit, they're gonna think I'm gonna do something bad to them. So a week later, I told someone close to me, and obviously, from my perspective, I really wanted their help, but it makes sense why they couldn't help me. They didn't know what to do, and that now makes sense because it's not this is something very abstract, and it got worse. So it went on from like June to November or something like that. It went like the severe side. It went and got further, and it came to the point where every minute I'd get this thought into my brain of me doing it, and I'd be like in my head like, no, that's not me, and I'd get very upset and angry. But you wouldn't know because I wouldn't be doing it out loud. I remember one night, those who know me closely know I love steak. Oh, that is the best. I'll go to a pub just for a steak. And I was at Hog's Breath Cafe in Midland, and we ordered a steak. And I was so excited, and then I saw the steak knife. And because of what my thoughts were, I freaked out. I went to the toilet, take a break. I was scared. I was like, it's like, I felt like it wasn't me. I felt my life was slowly, actually rapidly, not slowly, it was going down. I felt like that was me. And I did not eat that steak. I just pushed the plate aside and just sat there. It got worse. I thought this was it. My fear was that I do not want to lose what I've built. My course, where I'm going, I do not want to lose that. And I felt like with these thoughts, this was it. I couldn't go any further. I felt like that. I'm not joking. I felt that was done. I was done. Anyway, a few months after, I told a bunch of people, as you do, but it's pretty hard to tell them the full truth about me hurting people in these thoughts. It's just, you say I'm doing, thoughts of me doing some bad shit. I didn't go full to extent because I was scared. And I get sick of it. I get angry. I don't really get angry. I get upset. I get angry. And I watched videos of what to do. And this one video said, you've got to accept these thoughts. They come in, they float in, you've got to accept them. Like, you just more than acknowledge them. But I thought when they said that, you've got to agree with them. And that was my mistake. I watched all these videos and tried these techniques out. It got worse. Went for months. This was near the end of the year, maybe January, maybe December, I think. And I saw a uni counsellor. Let mind, I booked one. I wagged it because I went straight to the door. I was like, nah, I can't do it. The next following one, I was worried about my uni degree going down. So the next one, I finally do it. And she says, all these techniques from these videos I was doing were correct. Is what a counsellor would have told me to do. And she said, I felt all I really needed was her to say you were sane. I asked her, I was like, am I sane? She said, yes. And I felt my shoulders just lift. They lifted. And then she said, I told her about the whole, you agreeing and acknowledging. She said, no, you don't have to agree with it. You say, this thought will come into your mind. And what my technique was, and she told me, was like, you say, oh, just an intrusive thought. You give it a name. This was an intrusive thought because it's intruding. oh, just an intrusive thought, whatever, you say that. Now, for the first few days, for weeks, it feels weird because you feel like you're accepting it, but you're not. You acknowledge it and you push it away. And I do that every second, every minute. It'd come and go, come and go. I'd be talking to someone, I'd be trying to, like, I'd pause. And it got worse, like, it did get worse, sorry. It kept coming in, going, but it slowly went. I didn't notice that it went. That's what happened. And then now, like, I might get it, they might come in once a month or something, but I know the technique now. This all happened because I lost my structure, my routine went out the window. I was staying, it got worse because I had these thoughts. I couldn't sleep. I was having nightmares every time. And so what I did, I stayed up later, so that way my body would crash. I'd wake up later. My partner would message me on a lunch break. So she'd say good morning, and then she'd message me on a lunch break, and then she'd message me on, you're off a lunch break, and then I'd wake up. Because I was having nightmares every time I slept. Every time. So that was during it. But now, after those techniques, fixing up my routine, actually going for a walk every day, actually works. And knowing that I'm sane was my method to my madness of becoming better. And I have not told anyone about me with these thoughts of me doing stuff to people. Because imagine you know, just me talking about that makes me a bit nervous, but I'm just sick of it. That's a very good question. First advice would be check your routine. Check that you are actually having a decent lifestyle in terms of you're going to bed at a good time, waking up at a good time, you're doing shit throughout your day. That's the main thing. Do shit. Even if you struggle, just don't be in your house all day like I was. Second tip would be, know it's hard, but tell someone, but don't expect, especially a family member, don't expect them to be able to help you because they can't. They don't know that. Just tell them so they know that you're going through a hard time, and they might support you when you need to go to counselling. Third thing is counselling. Just so they're the professionals. They've studied this shit. I was just lucky enough to survive it, really. Have a solid class to teach. Have a solid teach a solid bunch of classes actually. Do more. I've done a few musicals, so that's fine. That'll probably just continue. Not really a goal now. Record more music, and that's hopefully happening this year. So there's two I can come into mind, and that's the hard part. They're both musicians. That'd be Mr. Grohl, Mr. Dave Grohl, just because he'd be such a cool guy to chat to. And Eddie Vedder would be cool. Oh, but Jack Black. Oh, I can't pick. They're all musicians.
Thanks heaps for chatting to us.
No worries.